No one cares, Uggo. Just because you took better care of my cat than I did doesn't make me an animal abuser. Abuse would be like making a hamster, a cat, sit in a smoky room. Besides, my beezers will watch any old thing I fart out. You have nothing to do but comment on my eating, because I have no other appreciable skills, and you're just jealous.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just letting everyone know how things go around here. Who's jealous, who's not, who's living the life, and who's not.
Oh my god, here we go again.
Where's your man? Oh, did I tell you guys I got another cat?
Oh!
You like short hair? I can have short hair. You like blondes? I can be blonde. Hyper. I'm here, and you're gonna get it. Eurobees and shit. Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Mark's around, say hi Mark!
Hey everybody!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark, either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday, it is the weekend. We're having actual coffee. Light roast, I hate it. We're gonna go get some dark roast later. But, you know, so far so good. So I hope everyone's well and safe, look after yourselves and each other. Today we're gonna catch up with our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me. The Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, The Chantal Show, Chantal and Sala, that ASMR thing that I don't know where that went. And she's Foodie Beauty now. And definitely the foodie she's been behaving. Now, I do have what we're gonna go over this week and last week, but first things first, the news that I just got as I'm filming this is that she got another cat. By the time you're seeing this, you probably know. But just wanted to share a couple thoughts, and Mark wanted to share a few as well. So, I'm personally disgusted by the fact that she has a cat.
Oh, I am too.
She didn't take care of the last one. Mark, come sit.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna sit.
No?
I'm right here.
Okay, well, what are your...
Oh, I am completely disgusted by it. I think this is just all... She's doing it on purpose. She's using this, to get views, to get, people to be, mad and everything.
Yeah.
And it worked because it really, really angered me that this animal abuser now is taking care of a cat. Oh, God.
Well, thank you, Mark. Yeah, so... He's so honest, isn't he? So yeah, that just broke, and before I go into the other stuff that we have prepared for the week, I just wanted to lay the ground in that. It's so new that, discussions, except for her trolling, she uses the word exploit to describe her previous cat a lot, and its current tender, or who she believes is. But she got herself a couple, so we'll see. So, going into this week, well, last week we talked about the mukbangs, which still continue. Where is she was a question, because she disappeared a few days. Was it a border hop? Was it related to her visa? Did she come back to Canada? Which I don't think she would have went back to Kuwait, because this week it was kind of hot, and she was having some consequences from that. Fat shaming as an escape from honest feedback. Her payday habits, pre-payday and then after. Her views and subs, which were about 10,000 to 19,000 on her mukbang videos, which now that I look, there's probably 30. There was quite a few when I went and looked back over the last couple months. And as is always, being fat is the least of her problems. So this week we'll talk about how it's hot, because it's hot. Desperate eating. Smoking, and it's good for others but not for me, as far as her repeated complaints about people smoking around their pets, while she hits the freaking water bong all hours. And she put up a really nasty community post. Sent it French Fry Girl, but some other people too, so I wanted to have a little comment on that. And her health issues. So first thing first, it's hot. Welcome. It's not even summer yet. And she is staked out in their apartment, not moving, not doing anything, rubbing cold beverages on her face. I know Chantal isn't always great for planning ahead, but she did look at the weather, right? I mean, the there's only so many amenities available. And if it's 120 out, the AC isn't going to get it back down over 90. And those 90-degree temperatures at night, I'll go sleep in the desert. I hear it's cooler there. I don't know. So she is miserable and currently voluntarily housebound. She went out and got herself some heat stroke, so now she has to stay in the air conditioning. So if she goes out anywhere, she has to go in a car with air conditioning with Sala, and he will go into wherever she wants to get the food that she needs to eat to pay the bills and bring it back. I wish Mark loved me so much. Oh boy, oh boy. She overestimated, I think, her own maturity in dealing with distress. I think she thought she'd handle it better, but this is really textbook Chantal. All of a sudden, she has all these health problems, and she's smart. She got them in early before the real heat of summer kicks in. Asthma, migraines, hot flashes, heat stroke. My new meds make me dizzy because they interact with my body differently than everybody else's, and that's just how it is. So, honestly, the villa looks like a better hookup for her than now. At least she had her freedom. I mean, this life isn't any better than that one. Observer. But I still think she was better off with Pete's. Sure, she was high, and she was eating a lot. But now she can't do any of the things she enjoys. She's overdoing it on the modesty, per Sala. And, you know, she wants to blend in, but she's not going to blend in. She's a spectacle. That should be the name of her new channel. Spectacle. As for it being hot, the abaya is not necessary. The hijab, not 100% sure about. But there's people there, per her husband, who don't need to cover from every single inch of their body. And if you're 400 pounds in a bodysuit wrapped on top of it, and there's a way you can avoid it without upsetting anybody like your husband, then you're volunteering to do it. And I give fuck all care if you're uncomfortable. It's spectacle. It's spectacle. It's just to get people to look. It's nothing else. As soon as that hair grows back, we're going to find out Sala was holding me there against my will, and he locked me in a room for hours at a time. As soon as he gets on the bad side or something falls through, he'll be another natter. We'll find out what an abusive monster he was. I think Sala's dumb, but I don't think he's mean. I think he's about as controlling as culture allows, probably, but... So the abaya is her choice. He says she didn't have to wear it. But it reinforces the whole devout martyr narrative. Like, I'm sweating, but I can do it because this is nothing. This is for her husband's faith. This is to try to make herself more desirable. But it's backfiring, I think. Just a little. Let's see. She'd have nothing to talk about if she wasn't being wrongfully persecuted. So, you know, her having that outfit and her being out in the heat and people passing judgment. She might as well be on Mars if she's not going to go outside. You know, it doesn't really matter. Calling yourself a world traveler of any sort. You've been to 2 places. I'm not a world traveler, but I know what one looks like. And when they go to one country, never leave the resort. Go to another, never leave their rental. What are you telling everyone about world travels? That you've seen all the best Burger Kings? That you've sat on some of the best couches? You know, it's what we're talking about because it's all you're fucking doing. As to desperate eating and the like, things are very different now as far as making content to try to earn money on her channel. It was not long ago that we were told they had 4 channels, and they did. They had hers, his gaming one, the couples channel, and some ASMR thing that she used to use to comment on her own videos to leave nice... It's so sad. It's so sad. But she used to do that. Now, she has to film herself force-feeding herself. You think she loves overeating because she's like kind of addict, eating disorder, or glutton, depending on your stance. For many stance, she eats a lot. She is a great candidate for choking because she's eating fast. And it's just to make money. It's just for spectacle. And I don't know how she thinks being the person making that content is more respectable than the person talking about it. We're secondhand embarrassed for you, and you think it's mean. Anyone who would request that you stop doing this kind of stuff cares. Because haters wouldn't, lovers, beezers wouldn't care, because she can do anything and they'll watch. Per her. She'll manipulate them tomorrow and they'll eat it all up. Per her. The mukbangs that she's doing right now, are pretty much the only content she gets that gets over 10,000 views or so. Even her oldest mukbang in this cycle, I don't know if it hit 20,000. So once upon a time, she was doing pretty well for herself. Her channel was growing. She's been under 100,000 now for as long as I followed her. And she gets close, like any other fuck up. Runs her mouth, ruins it for herself. Tries to play games with it. Now she's reached a higher number of subs this week. She, what is it, 93.5, and it was 92.9 or something right after the BBJ thing. So it'll be curious if people see her with a cat again. Maybe people could forgive and forget if she never did it again, but now she has another pet. Well, she has two. So two animals can get smoked out. You notice how, like, Chantal's pretty textbook juvenile. She'll say to you the most hurtful things that you try to say to her. And if you've wronged her once, she has carte blanche to harass and insult you for the rest of your life. Because you did her wrong. She's just that kind of girl. That kind of person. I mean, it's not attractive. It's not enticing. And you'd probably end up with a husband like Saul if that was your personality. But just to say. So the videos of the mukbangs are going slow. The other videos, she's smoking. There's these long pauses in between. People have commented that, that story wasn't bad, but it took 20 minutes longer because you had to unhinge your jaw to get those big mouthfuls in. And people that are watching for her eating, the ones we're not supposed to kink shame, it's weird. It's weird. If you're sitting home and you're in any way aroused by watching someone spill food all over their face, I think I would stop acquaintanceship with a friend like that. Again, not to kink shame, but it's like almost, I don't know, she kind of has this tone when she's doing it like, how dare you judge me for just doing what I need to do to make money? But then to criticize people who are only reacting to her eating when it's the only thing she's doing. And she's not even killing it like other mukbangers were. So at some point, I hope for her that at some point she has the self-awareness to go, maybe it's me. Those 3 words could save her life, not much else. Maybe it's me. It's unfortunate to kind of see her living in the situation she's in now, where she's become voluntarily immobile in some ways, which is, I think, just going to snowball, probably. I mean, we've watched other channels. We've seen, this is not new. She's not going to live to 80 like this. How do I know? Because any idiot could tell. Not in the condition she's in. She already has a bunch of health problems, most related to her weight, some just otherwise. But she's not going to make it. She's going to be in a jazzy. And she said she would never use one. In fact, she passed judgment on Amberlynn Reed, this was a few years ago, about using a jazzy. Chantal claiming her weight, which she's proud to say her weight when Amberlynn says hers, because she's a little bit smaller. Or she was, anyway. Now that she's voluntarily housebound, the little bit of exercise that she would get is gone. She's going to go back and forth to the bathroom. And do nothing all day. Look online, see who's talking about her, see who's not, so she can incite a discussion and make them talk about her for action, activity, all that kind of stuff. Again, exploiting different things. I always find it curious. She exploits her own health matters. She exploits her animals. She exploits occasionally she'll call it an eating disorder when it gets out of hand. When she wants to take less responsibility for something, she has a medical excuse for why. So, unfortunately, we see her living like that, but oh well. So, let's talk about smoking. I'm a smoker. We can talk smoking. I am no better, no worse. We'll talk about smoking, pets, what's ideal, what we criticize others for, and even though we do it ourselves. So, she blows smoke straight at the camera. I think it's rude. I've smoked on camera. I'm Smokeysteveandmarc, But blowing it at the camera it's not like blowing it in someone's face, but it kind of is. It shows a lack of respect. And not that she respects anyone, necessarily, but it would demonstrate that to me. She would say with the smoking, I waited all day for this. Waited for what? Who? Where? Did he have to get you tobacco? Were you waiting for him to leave so you could do it, like you do with the eating? Or wait for him to sleep wherever he's sleeping? Did you need permission to do it? To smoke? Did you need his? She's not big on permission. She'll kind of let you know what you're allowed to ask her. So she keeps it a little more in control, I think. It's disgusting abuse to smoke when French Fry Girl does it. When Chantal does it, oh, he's in another room. And now we've introduced another animal into the situation. We went with what was probably the easiest solution because we smoked inside and we had for a long time. The more ideal thing is not to do that. So we'll go outside. It's a great chance to meet the neighbors. It's a non-smoking building anyway, so it's cut our smoking down regardless. I'm actually sort of leaning towards quitting, and I've cut back from a pack and a half to a half a pack. Not bad. But there's never a wrong time to do the right thing, I guess was my point. And it's not me judging her, it's her judging French Fry Girl because she does the same behavior. But it's trashy and worth noticing when she does it, but not when Chantal does it. That's a working definition of a hypocrite. Good for thee, not for me. Like, your ass ain't that cute to pull off stuff like that. It's just not. So, blowing smoke in the camera is rude. Would you do it to a person? And if you did, would you be ready for the consequences? Oh, so hide behind the camera. Okay. She thinks it's not a problem when she does it. You'd be embarrassed if you were a little more self-aware for how stupid it sounds. How very stupid a lot of this sounds. I know she thought that she was like this queen mastermind until someone that she thought wasn't very smart walked away with her animal, which had been neglected. Your fingernails wouldn't grow through your fingers if someone looked at them once in a while. And if I came home and one of the cats was limping around, I wouldn't sit around for 3 weeks wondering why. I'd take them somewhere to be seen. There's emergency vets. There's freaking Petco you can get nails cut. The problem is, though, she couldn't go do the responsible thing because she was so irresponsible with her cat that the neglect went too far and they would have had to go to a vet to get the damage cut out. So, cat's pain doesn't matter. Exploiting, that's what you call exploiting. When you don't care about the other thing that you're taking advantage of and using it to another end. Like the cat she got now. So Harry the hamster, I guess, is somewhere in the mix. Maybe not. She talks about how cute he was, but also said a few weeks ago that she misses him. I don't know what that all means. Chantal is totally the kind of person that one of them would die and she'd try to replace it. Like, totally. And she has the good editing skills to probably leave something really obvious to show that it's not the same thing. I mean, she thinks she's very slick. No one's going to find where I live. It's a great place. You guys outed me. You posted your address in the video. Where'd you think you were posting it? What did you think people would do with the information if they had it? You know, it's more advantageous for her to have her address doxed. And in Kuwait, it doesn't really matter, because what are people going to do? You know, there's people that try to me Steve, take it over and try to get her, like, deported or arrested or something like that. Her behavior will have its own consequences. I feel like it's hard for a lot of people to watch her act the way she does, treat people and animals the way she does, and think it's coming. You know, there's going to be karma soon. I would offer, though, that her living in a room, the luxury fart box, tarps up all the walls to have privacy, won't go outside during the day at all, won't go out unless she's in an air-conditioned car, and can't go anywhere that's too far to walk. Boy, am I jealous. I think a lot of us are, probably. If it was a condition you couldn't do anything about, but obesity is very uncomfortable, very deadly, but highly treatable, if we agree to do the things you need to do to look after yourself. You know, she has a ton of health problems that probably have nothing to do with her weight, but she has an equal number that are entirely to do with her weight. But she'll always have the excuse of, hey, skinny people get stretch marks too. You know, lots of people get lymphedema. Ballerinas get it all the time. Like, it sounds so ridiculous. So, it's, you know, you don't really take it seriously too much. But
Hey guys, Mark here. Join me on Monday for my first ever Mondays with Mark live stream. We have an awesome DIY to do, and of course, we'll get caught up with all the latest chit chat. See you then.
because it's Foodie Beauty, we have to have a small section on health concerns, real and imagined. Suffice it to say, I can't argue with information she won't share, but people who know will know and can smell bullshit. For those of us that aren't biologists, biochemists, and the whatnot, the rest of us can rely on experts. That's the point of experts, so we don't have to know anything. But again, let's exploit my health issues for drama and for views. Like, nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred. Grandma wasn't sacred. Timbit wasn't sacred. BBJ wasn't sacred. Mom wasn't. The family on the holidays wasn't. I ate all the ate all the pot and drank all the alcohol that I bought for them. That'd be like if I bought my whole family, like, cigarettes. They don't smoke, they don't want to, and they don't care to. So when they refuse the gift, I just have it for myself. She stayed voluntarily homebound for the holidays, too. Smoked everyone's everything and just didn't go. Hard to tell if she wasn't invited or chose not to go. She has a kind of a relationship with her family. They usually cave to her, which is why she's the way she is. So with the health concerns aside from that, how do we know such things about her? Who would have mentioned it? Who would have brought it up? When you put, like, medical records, edited or not, on the internet, you're going to get people who are knowledgeable, who will challenge it, possibly, or people just assume, well, you lie about everything, and you're probably lying about this too. Is your name even Chantal? I don't know. So she, of course, now has all these health concerns because she's going to be avoiding the heat. So now, asthma, needs her inhaler while she's smoking. All of a sudden, we're talking health concerns because they're all good reasons not to go outside. Side effects from her new meds. I've taken that medication. The prescription versus the generic. Unless you're a little bit allergic to one of the filler ingredients they use, they're usually about the same. If you choose to spend more money, no meds work if you take them for 3 days and then stop. They don't work if you've only gotten them as a quick fix after an angry spouse said that you have mental illness and you had to remind him that he doesn't get it. This happens every time she has a meltdown off camera with her partner. BB didn't get mental illness. Natter didn't get mental illness. Salva's not going to get it either because she's going to try to use it to excuse certain behaviors, and he'll, like everybody else, say, well, you were fine enough to do this, and you were fine enough to do that. It seems conspicuous that all of a sudden you don't want to go out when this is the only place with air conditioning she said she can tolerate. She said the stores aren't that cool. It's hot. You can only get it down so many degrees. I mean, what do you want Quaid to do? Apologize for being too hot for you? Leave if you don't like it. The view will be the same everywhere if you tarp up the windows with that wrinkled blanket. You'll feel just fine. You can get palak paneer and sit there in a shrouded room and tell everyone how jealous they are of that. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to touch on, of course Chantal puts up a lot of community posts, but she had one that went up a couple days ago, yesterday maybe, earlier, that I thought was particularly hypocritical and disgusting, so I pulled out a few things to mention. Now Chantal is the queen of, I'll say whatever I want, and then she deletes the post because she has zero integrity and doesn't want to deal with the consequences of being exposed as that much of a bitch for that long of a time. So she puts them up and then deletes them. It was a lot about French Fried Girl, mostly. She mentioned other reactors. She mentioned the Beezers, that they'll listen to any old shit she says, and she feels pretty comfortable that that's true. Also, she probably feels pretty comfortable that she can call them whatever she wants, and they'll stay. She accused French Fry Girl and other reactors of spreading old tea. No one cares about French Fry Girl's channel, except because they hate Chantal, she says. Maybe she thinks about that when she's counting all the money she makes off your channel. Her legacy will be stealing a cat. Chantal's will be ignoring one. Frumpy Smoky Trash Bag. Have you seen your videos, Chantal? Dirty Abaya drags through the food while you're eating dinner for 4, and then blow smoke in the face of everybody who's watching. You can't be surprised when people don't like that shit. And they don't have to watch, but you can't tell them not to. If YouTube thought it was appropriate to block people from viewing, if that was in the spirit of things, it probably would have happened by now. It's been like years and years and years. It's been decades since YouTube's been up. So if you want to message your manager again and tell them what's going on, maybe, I don't know how many you have. Do you just get one if you're monetized? It makes her feel special. Having a lot of subs makes her feel special too, but I'd rather have viewers than subs because the money comes from the views. And if she wants to comfort herself by saying all 4,000 people per chat only hang out in French Fry Girl's chat because they don't like Chantal. There's a lot of people that don't like Chantal. And it gives them a place to go and talk about it. They can't have discourse in her comment section because she loads them, deletes all the negative comments in the interest of, I don't want negativity there. You don't want honest feedback there. And you don't want anyone putting thoughts in the Beezer's ears that they should maybe think for themselves and not believe everything they see and hear. And not be so gullible as to be manipulated and love it. Anyway, Chantal put in that she's the one who traveled and got married and married a handsome man. Honey, it's not that much of a flex to get laid, and it's, what? I wouldn't want a husband like Sala, not because Sala's maybe not necessarily a bad guy, though if Mark started bringing me things that were killing me, I hope he'd have the insight and the courage to say, this isn't good for you no matter how much money it makes us. So I would like you to stop. If he cared, he would say something similar. Instead, he brings the food. So read between the lines. I don't know. She can't see herself very clearly, so she assumes every observation is an insult. And she just gets very petty and very spiteful. Beauty spite! So, she's the one who's flexing because she paid for a man halfway around the world. The rest of us can just go out and meet somebody. Because we can fit on a bar stool. We can be in public. I know Chantal's uncomfortable with her weight. I don't care what she says about being fat and proud. She won't go out during the day. She can't go out. Tell me it's not more uncomfortable because she's 250 pounds overweight. Explain to me how her weight has nothing to do with the fact that she can barely move without sweating, losing her breath, or all that kind of stuff. She's looking like she's having some of the consequences that people had kind of thrown out flags earlier and said, hey, look after yourself. This might happen. You could end up in a wheelchair. You could end up in a bed. You don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe people do know a little more than you think they do. The camera does not lie. You can filter, but all of us are on camera somewhere at this point anymore. And the truth will come out. The truth comes out. And is her lying about her weight and altering it the crime of the century? No, but it is very telling. Tell me you're proud of something as is and then change the way the picture looks completely. We're not talking a few little blemishes here or putting up 2 filtered pictures one next to another and calling any one of them real. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So future vlogging plans were also mentioned in it. If you can't walk or get out of the house, how are you going to try to flex on someone about vlogging? And vlogging is different than holding your camera out the window because it's too hot to walk around. So these are nice things to say, and an ambitious person in a loving relationship may have already started to do some of these things. But, my husband visits more than 3 times a week. What about yours? So where do we go from here? What have we wrought? Well, I'll be curious to see how the cat thing keeps moving. No one's going to do anything. If anyone thinks they're going to be able to email Kuwait to have someone get her cat out of there, they have a hero complex. What's going to happen, I think, is the cat will stay with her. People will notice signs it's being neglected. They will tell her. She will block it. People will say you didn't treat your last pets well and ditch them when you found some brown dick across the pond. So what would be different if you needed to, let's say, go back to Canada? Maybe you should just have to go back to Canada. I'm sure Sala will go. He's playing the long game. You don't know. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have alerts when new videos come up and go live. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff listed below as well. Thank you again, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Mark and I are going live at 6 p.m. Eastern for our normal Sunday live. Open discussion, open topic, Foodie comes up, other stuff does too, so don't hesitate if you're around. Please stop by. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye! Say bye, Mark! He's outside. Bye!